everyone, my name is Dawn, and today I am going to give you 8 mistakes that you do not want to make in English. So let's go over mistakes. Mistakes are totally okay, and they're actually encouraged as you're learning any language, especially in English. But these are some mistakes that maybe you're making that you can just change a little bit. It's good to keep making mistakes, but it's good to just practice out of them. Also, I just want to really emphasize that mistakes are actually really common between non-native English speakers and native English speakers as well. So it's totally okay to make mistakes, but again, you just don't want to make them into a really bad habit. Always remember that a great student will always take notes of their mistakes so that next time they're not going to make the same mistake again. But average students, maybe they'll just continue making those mistakes and develop a bad habit. So we don't want bad habits, we want to learn from our mistakes. If you love this kind of content and if you are learning English yourself, please make sure to subscribe and like this video so that you can get more of my videos in the future. Alright, so let's start with number 1, and that would be avoiding phrasal verbs. So I know for especially anybody who's kind of in that intermediate level of English trying to get into advanced, this is a really big mistake that people do. They always avoid phrasal verbs because they seem scary. And really, there's a lot of them. There's hundreds of phrasal verbs that we use so commonly, and it's impossible to just write down every single one. So what you can do is just practice them. Use worksheets online. Take notes as you're reading or watching something that has a phrasal verb. Understand what it means and then try to use it in your own practice. Try to use it in a conversation that you're having with an English speaker. So for example, take out. What does that mean? Go out, pick up. Learn these phrasal verbs, start using them, and you'll be more advanced than you were. All right, let's talk about mistake number 2. And this is especially for Spanish speakers, and there's also many different languages that do this as well. But when somebody has, for example, a birthday, what do we want to say? Happy birthday! In some languages, you would say congratulations. But actually in English, it doesn't sound the same. We don't want to say congratulations for every single event. It's not really a thing. So specifically for birthdays, do not say congratulations, just say happy birthday. All right, so the third thing that you want to avoid, and do not make this mistake, is confusing the prepositions in, on, at. Of course, prepositions can be a little complicated, but they're not as bad as it seems as long as you have something in mind. So for in, on, and at specifically, just think about an upside down triangle, something like this. Basically what you want to do is imagine in is kind of at the top, it's very broad, on is kind of in the middle, and at is at the very tip. And what this represents is kind of how specific you need to go. So for example, if I'm talking about my house in general, I live in Peru, I live on this avenue, Javier Prado. Okay, where at? I live at 225 Javier Prado, Miraflores, Peru. So as you can see, the more down it gets, the more specific it gets. If we're talking in general, we want to go in here. I live in a city. I live in Chicago. I live in wherever. It has to be general. Then on for an address or what street, and then at a very specific address with all of the details. So that's what you can imagine to practice in, on, and at for locations. There's other ways to do that, but I can make another video about that later. All right, the most common mistake for number 4 is forgetting to use ly in adverbs. So as we expand our vocabulary, it's very important that you actually use the adverbs properly, and that is by using an ly at the end of the verb or the adverb. So for example, I ran quick to the store. Well, here's the problem. It doesn't sound fluid because it needs to be I ran quickly to the store. I ran quick to the store. I ran quickly to the store. How about it was a real nice day today? It was a real nice day. it doesn't sound so good. We want to say, it was a really nice day today. L-Y, really nice day today. So that's what you need to practice, is making sure you're adding ly to your adverbs. All right, a very common mistake for number 5 is confusing has and have. So this goes back to the basics. Remember when you were learning just the present tense in probably a very basic level of English, and it was probably easy at the time because you were remembering, okay, if I have, maybe it's you have, and then he, she, it has, they have, etc. But sometimes we forget that as we learn our language more, or as you learn English more, sometimes those rules that we that we learned in the beginning kind of float away. And this is one that is commonly mistaken as you keep learning English. And so what you want to do is just make sure that you remember I have, you have, he, she, it has, they have. And make sure when you're using anything like present perfect, for example, that you're using it correctly. So she has gone to the store. Would I say she have gone to the store? No, she has gone to the store. So just really remembering those basics and making sure you're not making that common mistake, because this is actually going to flow into number 6. So number 6 is not forgetting the S for the third person in present tense. So third person again is he, she, or it. And that's in the singular form. So the singular form for adverbs, or for the third person, singular third person, is he, she, and it. So basically with these, you want to make sure in the present tense that you're always adding S to the verb. So he runs outside, or he runs every day. Do I say he run every day? No, he runs every day. How about if I'm talking about going dancing, or somebody who likes to dance? So then I can say she loves to dance, or I can say she dances every day, or she dances on the weekend with her friends. Would I say she dance on the weekend? No, she dances on the weekend. So just again, going back to the basics, remembering that the S is always part of the third person singular in the present tense. Just something you have to remember, and try not to make this mistake too often. All right, so let's talk about number 7, which is your sentence structure. So a lot of people get confused as to where to put words in their sentences, and sometimes they mix up the order. And the nice thing about English, one of the very few nice things that we have, is you can just think about a very simple acronym, which is SVO. SVO stands for subject, verb, object. Because these little things, SVO is always going to stay the same in all of your sentences in English. So we always start with a subject, so it could be I, it could be you, it could be he, she, whatever, the subject, and then the verb, and that could be dance, write, play, whatever. That's the verb, and then the object, and the object could just be whatever extra information there is. But we always need to have the subject and verb first. And this is also very different from, for example, Spanish, where you actually imply who you're talking about at the end of a verb. In English, it's not like that. We always need to have a subject, even if it's just it. If it's just it, that's okay. At least it's there. So for example, let's go over some basic sentences. I went to the store this morning. Okay, I, subject, went, verb, to the store, object, this morning. Okay, that's a very basic sentence. Or even, she goes to the store every morning. She, subject, goes, and then we have our verb, to the store, again, same object. If I say something like, my dog loves to play outside. My dog is the subject, play is the verb, and then outside is the object. So as you can see, Very simple sentences, but the structure is always the same, even for more complicated sentences. Subject, verb, object, SVO. All right, and so for number 8, which is our very last mistake that you don't want to do, is confusing then and than. And honestly, this is something that many native English speakers forget to do, even in adult life, and even like, especially, I guess, in their juvenile days, when they were younger. So always remember that when you're talking about than, THAN, you're talking about a comparison. So I can say, I am taller than my sister. She is smarter than him. So then that's what you can see is like we're talking about a comparison if we're going to use THAN, than. All right, and so the other one, then, THEN, just always remember that we're using this for time. So for example, with time, I could say like, I am going to the beach, then I'm going to go to the store, get some groceries, then I will go home, then I will clean my house, then I'll do this and that. So you get the picture. We're talking about kind of like time, and we're talking about something that's happening following the next thing. So this, then this, then this, then this. So that is a difference. Then is using a comparison, then we're using as a time structure. All right, so I hope you took some notes about what we covered today. These are some mistakes that you don't want to make. And if you are making them, it's a good time to break out of those habits. And if you enjoyed this video, if you would like to learn more, if you want to watch more videos, please like and subscribe to my channel. And please leave a comment down below as to which one you're going to work on or which one you need more help with. All right, so that's all for today. See you next time.